the time. This is the time where we are going to shine. Very grateful that I'm consistently showing up for myself. Even it's difficult, but I show up myself because I know that this is my sole purpose and I'm committed, devoted, and consistent to my sole purpose to serve my mission. That is the that is the first priority for me. When I started to work on this pattern, you know what? I had a great issue called inconsistency. I couldn't able to complete any of the task on time before, but right now when I understand this is a pattern, inconsistency, which was making me in a loop again and again, and when I worked on self, when I started to work on the pattern called inconsistency, initial days it was literally as all the time the obstacles always come, but I mindfully, I was very was strong enough that today, for this purpose, I will definitely be consistent. I have to break this chain. I have to break this cycle. This was my aim. Like so many patterns were there within me, which I one by one started to declutter or break the cycle, break the loop, and come out of it. Yes, I literally did it, and I appreciate for myself. Very good one. Thank you. So today I want to share this topic about consistency, commitment. It is very important and a rare quality, which I don't think everyone are able to take that, because commitments are like so many. I mean, commitment is what we literally need for ourselves first. We often try to get commitment from someone else, but are you committed to yourself for your well being, for your mental being, for your emotional being, for your financial being? When I started to cultivate a pattern, a skill called commitment, consistency, devoted towards my sole purpose and mission, I was having no clue that what I'm going to speak, how I'm going to come in front of camera, how because there was actually I was also having a wound called visibility wound, which I'm also dealing with it, and right now I'm free. I have no, even though sometimes healing is not linear, but yes, I am there with myself. I take care of my emotions. I process my emotions now because I know how to process my emotions. I feel safe and secure within myself, and I am consistent and committed towards my mission. When I started to affirm with strong belief, with surrendering to universe, when I started to reprogram myself, my mindset, day by day, I just water my plants, and I whatever, no matter what situation comes in front of me, I strongly say, I strongly affirm and say, and many of my manifestation has landed it correctly. I can say yes, I tried. I'm a good manifestor, because I believe that whatever I said, it becomes the truth. Why it happens? I sometimes get think that why my manifestation works so fastly, because I worked on myself. I worked on my subconscious mind. Whenever um, and then I realized that whenever I give a strong affirmation, whenever I give a strong belief, the emotions what we say with words carries what element of abundance or element of manifestation or law of attraction. So, see, no matter what, if you're not feeling well, if you're not feeling good enough about yourself, but even though just you're saying, oh, I'm good enough, I look good, I'm pretty, I'm this, but inside belief is not strong enough. If you don't have a strong foundation about yourself, then what happens? Whatever you say about yourself, or whatever affirmation you say, it never landed on perfectly. Why? Because you have to keep it emotions. Always our words connected with emotions is equal to manifestation. And when we strongly when manifestation, actually whatever we believe, our belief system is the most important key element for every manifestation. If you truly believe in yourself, if you have a faith that whatever you say it becomes true, because everything is interconnected. What you think about yourself is also will help you to attract what you're meant to get. You're already destined for a luxurious, peaceful, healthy life. However, how you think about yourself, whatever things are elements which are there in your subconscious mind will reflect, will show that what is there in your side. Because when our mind, let's take an example that in your room there are so many items are there which were old stocks which you never use right now, and also they are not going to be used for your future timelines. However, because of nostalgia you keep it there, and as the days goes on you have many more things to accommodate, or you have so many things to purchase. However, your room doesn't have the space to keep that things, new things to buy or new things to keep. At that point what will you do? Because already the elements or items are there which you already used it, but it was useful at that point of time in your past time, and it doesn't have necessary useful at this present moment, neither in the future. But because of nostalgia you just kept it. What happens that in future when you need some new and you have only limited space in your room, you have, you know that everyone's room, whether it is spacious or it has its own limit, and when it goes beyond you couldn't able to buy new things, right? What you will do? You have to declutter your space. When you just declutter the old items, the used items which you no longer needs, when you start to clear the space, then only you can keep the new, or you can purchase new items and keep it, right? Because same thing goes to our mind, our subconscious mind. When already old stocks, old memories are filled in our memory, what happens that we couldn't able to create new things, we couldn't able to create our destiny. We feel that whatever we are facing right now is our complete destiny. No dear, we can create our destiny, but the only thing is you have to clear the space in your mind. You have to clear the memory. You have to clear the path for the new abundance. It will only happen if you give that space. If you give that, if you declutter your mind, and when you start to give space, when you start to breathe in, when you start to have a fresh look, fresh perspective for everything, when you start to pause before reacting, when you start to reflect on your on every actions, when you start to work on yourself, when you start to be more mindful while eating, while having every actions you do, when you start to be more present, you know what? Every manifestation works on a present moment only. At the present moment only, every manifestation works. When you start to more focus on the present moment, when your focused attention all comes in present moment, when you are very focused that in a 24 hours I do this, and wherever my energies are flowing I must be monitoring at least that where I am getting drained, where I am getting energized. These all are points which we must note. When we started to cultivate such habit, it it reshifts, or it shifts our pattern. The patterns of, actually, not only these are things, some are the patterns which we inherit from our ancestors, okay, from our parents or from our relatives, whatever. Some are inherited genes and we needed to replace that patterns too. Sometimes what happened, universe has given that opportunity for us to break the cycle, to break the chain. For that also we need to heal that pattern. We have to face that pattern. We have to sit with that and clear it. I had already mentioned in many other videos. You can just go through my videos. You can see that how we can heal our rejection pattern, how we can heal our abandonment issues, how we can heal our anxiety, fear, unknown fear. These all are patterns. As I already mentioned, abundance is also a pattern, and we can create abundance. We can create, we can command, we can create destiny for ourselves by making use of our time, by cultivating mindfulness, by being present for yourself, by looking that you, the very first thing you have to first noting down that in whichever area you are feeling drained and whichever area you are feeling energized. This is the most important element of factor which we overlook, but we have to work on it, because this is the initial stage. When you get to know, when you get to get aware that this person is not good for me, because by having conversation with that person even for 5 minutes I will get drained, I feel drained. Why? That means that energy is not suitable for me. That is first analyzation. Second, yeah, by having sitting in this particular place or doing such activity, it makes me more productive. That is also another analyzation. So through this, just check that with whom, for what, and wherever you are just spending your energy, you're investing your energy, the your time, your attention, your focus there, your energy flows. And for in order to have a high vibrant, in order to remain high vibrational, you have to call back your energy back to yourself. So that is also very important. You have to lock your protect your work on yourself. Make sure that sometimes we mindlessly scroll, right? We all have a habit called mindlessly scrolling. You know what? How many advertisements or how many people's energy we connect with through online platforms? That will also drain us directly or indirectly. Some of the ads or some of the thoughts are, some of the videos, some of the advertisement, even some of the things are so thought provoking that whenever we going to sleep, before sleep, when we are scrolling before sleep, make sure that at least half an hour you should have a gap, or at least go for 5 minutes silent meditation before going to sleep. Otherwise, what will happen? Whatever you have watched, whatever mindlessly you have scrolled it, these all things will be imprinted in your subconscious mind, which ultimately in future will be coming in reflected back to you. If you are watching some kinds of uh, angry or frustration movies, or which get provoked, which make us provoking, if you're watching such kinds of video for which is provoking, then definitely today or tomorrow it will reflect in your day-to-day life. We start attracting that kind of people, that kind of situation in your life. So make sure that what you watch, what you read, wherever your attention goes, there you decide your destiny. Yes, your destiny. So you have to make sure that you are completely in awareness. Wherever, whoever you're talking, whatever you're doing, whatever actions you are taking, make sure that you are on a right track. You are completely aware, you are completely focused. You know that your energy is balanced, you feel productive, even though you are not feeling well or not. So many other tools and resources are available in front of us to energize ourselves. I'm not talking about drugs and all materialistic, okay? So many other elements are there which are very benefited for ourselves. For, as I mentioned, if you start, if you have to love yourself. Yeah, self love is the initial stage for everything, and the self love will only begins when you start giving attention, completely whole attention, mental, emotional, psychological, physical, spiritual, in financial also, if you start giving attention to these six areas, majorly if you stop focusing more on logically and you start focusing more on intuition, because we all have intuition, we all are intuitive. When we start to sharpen our awareness, when we start to sharpen our intuition, what happens, our intuition will guide us what to do next forward, what to do next. Because when we, it is also connected with the word strong belief. So you have to believe in yourself. As in the initial time also I said, strong belief is very, very important. Start believing yourself. Take action right now. By believing in yourself, work on yourself, prepare yourself, be focused, be attentive, and just check yourself at least for 24 hours. Challenge yourself that yes, morning I woke up and these are my thoughts. Register it. Next time, what you are eating, when you have food, are you completely focusing on your food? When you are brushing your teeth, are you completely focusing on that? When you are bathing, are you completely focusing on that? Try to focus, try to bring the attention on that particular actions you are doing that moment. It will literally help you to declutter the unwanted thoughts or filter out the unwanted thoughts which are lingering you or which are keeping you in loop. Trust me, you have to challenge yourself. At least give yourself. You should be your guru or monitor yourself what you are doing in a day-to-day life, and which habits make you drained and which habits make you productive. That also you have to analyze yourself, because through this way only we can understand our patterns and we will work on it. Working on ourselves doesn't mean that you will be today I have checked, I have worked on myself. No, it is, life is a journey, it's not a destination. Likewise, healing is a journey. Healing is a process. Healing is a continuous process. You have to give enough time to yourself. You have to be patient with yourself. You have to take care of yourself in all aspects of your life. And it will happen with the small habits. It will begins with small habits. When you start focusing on small habits daily, definitely one day by looking back you will just appreciate yourself, you will congratulate yourself that how far I came, because I was also same like you. I also never felt that I would be such a free spirited, how I would be also living such a free minded. Once in my life I was loaded with tons of thoughts in my mind, and right now I am free. I know what thoughts must be there in my mind. I know where my focus should go. I am right now more attentive than before, and I truly believe that my aura is expanded. By started working in a small, when I started to work on myself by taking small steps daily, it had given a compound interest, you can say, or compound benefits to me, because I never ever thought about such a healing process or such an amazing results I would be finding about myself. And still I'm exploring myself. When you start working on yourself, trust me, you will be amazed to see your healing process, your healing journey, and you will also be exploring yourself more and more, because so many hidden talents and skills are hidden in us. When we start to look into ourselves, when we start to focus inward rather than outward, at that time we will get to know that what are spiritual gifts we carry, and we couldn't able to find out till now because we were so busy in outside. We were just chasing and chasing and chasing without realizing that chasing is not the answer. First you have to work on inwards. When you start to work on inwards, when you work on interior engineer, you can say, you are an engineer of your life, and when you start to work on yourself, that will reflect outside. Reflection. Yes, we all are mirrors actually. So you have to work on yourself. Like I said, you have to focus on yourself. Be mindful. Take a challenge. Give yourself a time. Work on yourself. Definitely you will be healed. So for today, I think this is enough. I will see you tomorrow. Bye. Good night. Have a nice day. God bless you all. Take care.